All right, hello. My name is Paula, and we're just going to sit and chat. I'm here with another worker with our company, and we're just going to talk about things that we've experienced in the world of care and communities. My name is Paula, like I said, and as far as experience being an administrator, I think I've been doing that now for 35 years, but actually started when I was 18, and I'm 64 now, so is that 47 years? That's 47 years. Very scary. Can't believe I lived this long. But yes, so I started working with people with developmental disabilities, and now I'm working with both people with developmental disabilities and the aging population. And so now I'm giving it to Dana. Take it away.
Yeah, hi, I'm Dana, and I came to long-term care in a roundabout way, but for the last 17 years plus, I've been working with an elderly population in assisted living, and I'm really passionate about giving great care to people, about person-centered care, about making sure that individuals get respect and dignity and all that good stuff. In my past, I've worked in the medical industry, doing some hospital medical records work, and then I went into hospice as a hospice rep and discovered assisted living through my work there, and really fell in love with it.
I did not know that part. All right, well, we are both very passionate about this, and I think when we do our trainings, that comes out. You mentioned attention seeking, which I really like, instead of elopement or running away. So let's talk about attention seeking. I'm sorry, not attention seeking. Let's talk about exit seeking.
Oh, exit seeking. Yeah, and now we're differentiating between unsafe wandering
Yes.
and elopement.
Right,
I
right.
don't know how much it
Because
matters.
there's nothing wrong with wandering.
Right. If you lose somebody, that's a bad thing.
Right.
We can all
Right.
pretty much accept that.
Right.
But yes, sometimes people wander aimlessly, sometimes they wander unsafely, which means maybe they're going in a place where they could get hurt.
Right.
Or more often, they're going into somebody's room and the
Getting into
roommate
stuff
or
they shouldn't, yeah.
another resident is getting upset by their behavior. But when somebody's pacing, they might need exercise. They might be wanting to leave. That's a natural, normal.
I want to go home.
Yeah, people want to go home.
Yeah.
How can we redirect them? How can we discuss that? How can we maybe take a walk with them? I've had residents who they want to go outside, and we just go along with them, and we walk them around the block, and then we say, hey, let's go in here, and they come
Right.
right back inside.
Right.
Because, of course, we tell caregivers you don't argue with people, you don't say no.
Right.
But the pacing could be a million things. And
Yeah.
that's another thing where you can't say to me, how do I get a person to quit pacing?
Right.
I don't know that person.
Exactly. I don't know that person. Yeah. And it doesn't take a lot to just sit down with somebody, because we're trying to figure out, how do I get this resident who's in my care to do this thing? Right. And I might have already said this the last time, but I'll say it again. So there was a home that I know of, and you might know them too. But what they did was it was a home with 4 women. This isn't assisted living. And none of them like to take a shower. So there are reasons people don't like to take a shower. A lot of times the water pressure hurts, it stings on older skin, thin skin. It could be that it's cold. So even for people that are in 80-degree weather, they can still say, honey, I need my shawl. It's cold, right? So they don't want to get dressed because it's cold. So what this house did was brilliant, I thought. The woman who was an administrator decided to turn this into spa time. And so she got a heater for the bathroom. She heated up the bathroom. She put her robe in there. She got some essential oils, incense, and she put on something like spa music, as well as those candles that are battery operated, but they look like real candles. So she lit up the bathroom really nicely. And so she said to the leader of the 4 women, Edith, come on in. We have spa time now. It's a new thing. I want you to try it out and tell others how you feel about it. She says, oh, okay. And so she gets in there. The bathroom is hot. So hot, you might want to take off your clothes, right? So she gets her to undress, and but Edith is like, "Oh, this is really nice. I like the candles, and it smells so good." And so she said, "Yeah, let's just try. Let's just start with your feet." And so she gets her into the shower, gets her to take her clothes off, and she says, "Let me just start with washing your feet." By the time she's finished, she's completely showered. So she goes out in her robe, and she says, "Girls, guess what? I got to try this spa, and it's wonderful. You're going to love it." And so it's been already 3 years, and I've talked to her again, and she said, "No, they only have spa time. There's no such thing as shower time in that home."
Creative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm sure you've had the experience, and I have too, where the staff couldn't get a job done. And as the administrator, you went to, a person who was being uncooperative or who was screaming, fighting the staff. And when you go and you sit with the person and take their hand and smile at them, look
Yeah.
them in the eye, the vast majority, every time I've tried this actually, they quit screaming or crying because you sit with them and you take the time. And part of our systemic problems sometimes with staffing is they don't take the time, maybe they don't have the time, or maybe they're not trained. But with the majority of these so-called behaviors, one-on-one attention can go a long way
Right.
toward getting the person to be in a better place, trust what you're trying to do for them.
Right. Right. And you're talking about connection. And when we were talking earlier about exit seeking, we were talking about how typically a person says, "I want to go home." Well, I thought about this because my grandmother, who died at 102, used to say the same thing. "I want to go home." But the truth is, she forgot that she had a home. She didn't remember anything about her home. And when I would ask her something about her home in Whittier, she'd say, "Oh, honey, no, I live here." So she didn't
Yeah.
remember that she had a
Yeah.
home. So then what is it that they want when they say, "I want to go home"? Well, it's that element of care, connection, love, feeling safe. Somebody's talking to them, right? Not just doing their job, but actually talking to them.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not sit with a
Right.
person and say, "I'm going to bring you a cup of tea. How have you been doing lately?"
Home is where maybe you
Right.
have family
Right.
and they care about you.
Right. It's where they feel safe, wanted, comfortable.
There's also, I've heard a theory that saying I want to go home means I don't really know who I am anymore and I want to go back to who I used to be.
Right.
In
Find
some
out.
cases.
Yeah, that could be.
But yeah, with the pacing or the exit seeking, that makes me think of activity programs too, which is
Yeah.
another big, that's one of my hot buttons, I guess.
Me too.
If you're not providing things for people to do that appeal to them, that's doable, that makes them feel engaged, they're bored.
Right. Didn't
You're-
you say you started out as an activity director?
I didn't, but I had the best team I ever worked with in a community. Just about all the directors in the building were former activity directors, which for me, I'm not big on planning events and parties. So that just took all the pressure off of me because
Yeah.
they loved it. They
Right.
did it. Yeah, no.
Right. Because
Activity director is one of the hardest jobs in the building.
I agree. And getting everybody to agree on the activity because not everybody
Yeah.
wants to do that.
And with a large group, if you have more than a handful of residents, you have to have different activities going on, parallel. This one's for a big group, and this one's for a quieter group or a lower
Right.
functioning.
Right. We should have those different types, I guess, of activities where it's just maybe two people getting to know each other, or sharing something. In some of the larger communities that I've been to, I've seen that a lot, where people decide to just go into the cafe and sit with a coffee or a tea and just sit there talking with each other. I love seeing that. It makes me so happy when I walk by and I see two of the residents just sitting there
Right.
chatting.
And if you're required to provide activity programming for your residents, that counts.
Right.
When they're doing their
Right.
small group activities or their self-directed activities,
Right.
if your regulations require that you document an individualized activity program for every person, that counts.
Yeah,
This
leisure
person,
time activity.
They're being social,
Right.
or they're deciding what they want to do,
Right.
and they're getting something out of it.